The Golden Gate Bridge, a red icon inherent to San Francisco, and one of the main symbols of the United States. At the time the longest suspension bridge in the world, its builders had to overcome mockery, incomprehension, and extreme natural conditions. But the end result was well worth it, a breathtaking structure that to this day continues to attract tourists and filmmakers, but unfortunately also suicide victims. The first realistic thoughts about bridging San Francisco Bay appeared before the year 1929, in a 1.5 mile wide strait called the Golden Gate. Although ferries had been running here briskly for a long time, they were no longer enough for the city's needs. Joseph Strauss, an ambitious architect of short drawbridges, came up with a solution, claiming to bridge the strait for 1/10 the price of the $25 million offered by the competition. Although his proposal did not generate enthusiasm, some said a bridge designed that way would not even hold its own. The price, however, did, and he won the contract with the agreement to redesign it. Source therefore hired the more experienced bridge engineers Charles Ellis and Leon Moiseif for the complex calculations and construction, while the architect Irving Morrow was given the design of the bridge. Their joint efforts resulted in the design of a suspension bridge across a strait that was subject to violent wind gusts, fog, earth shaking, and strong sea currents. There were many who claimed that it was nonsense and would not succeed. Among its opponents were ferry operators and the railway company, who were threatened with a drop in profits, but also the army, which feared the blocking of the harbor if the bridge collapsed. But after long delays and even lawsuits, construction finally got underway on January 5, 1933. The work on the site was done in difficult and dangerous conditions, yet they and the $5 a day pay were in huge demand during the Depression. Workers worked on the ground, under the water, and in the air. Pillar foundations, for example, were built by divers at depths of 20 and even 100 feet for the second pillar, with oxygen supplies lasting only 20 minutes each time. As a result, the foundations of the pillars are size of a football field, which are made into pylons, and the workers had to connect each of them with 6,000 rivets to a height of 774 feet. In addition to some new procedures, Strauss introduced a number of previously unprecedented safety measures on the site. Workers had to wear steel-reinforced leather helmets, safety glasses with dark lenses, and respirators. When working in fog and at heights where winds of up to 56 miles per hour blew, they again used belay ropes. Strauss then had a safety net stretched under the bridge structure. Shortly after, 19 workers fell off the bridge and were actually saved by the net. Later, however, 12 men were not as lucky, as the platform ripped off, and the net was torn through by its weight. 10 of them did not survive the 220-foot fall into the ocean, with the worker who died when the crane fell. Thus the construction claimed a total of 11 lives. In the end, the bridge swallowed nearly 1 million tons of steel. 2 supporting cables almost a foot in diameter were stretched across its pylons, which are twisted together for more than 27,000 pencil-thick steel wires, and have a total length of 79,535 miles, 3 times perimeter of the Earth. The whole bridge is then held together by over 1,200,000 rivets, the last of which was to be of gold. However, the soft metal could not withstand the tension and cracked, and was lost in the sea, replaced by a standard steel rivet. On May 27, 1937, the 88 feet wide and 1.7 miles long Golden Gate, at the time the longest suspension bridge in the world, was inaugurated, and 200,000 people came to walk across it that day. During its construction, they had grown so popular with original base red color that it eventually remained. Even the Army, which had originally requested that the bridge be painted with yellow and black stripes, was satisfied with the color and its good visibility in the fog. The bond-financed bridge project eventually cost $35 million. This May, it will be 87 years since the steel giant has been serving people in cars. In that time, it has lost its primacy among suspension bridges in some ways, but it remains an outstanding structure. One of them, unfortunately, is that it is one of the most chosen places by suicide victims due to the lack of barriers. More than 1,400 people have ended their lives by jumping off it, but that should change with the installation of the safety nets the city has agreed to. But it's unlikely to lose its status as one of the most admired and photographed structures on the planet. The Golden Gate Bridge is so amazing and timeless that it will never cease to fascinate people.